So I love this. So Dan Siegel is one of my favorite psychiatrists on the planet. He says this: you have to name it to tame it. And what I love so much about this is we struggle so significantly with emotional language. We often say we're on the heels of World Mental Health Day. And what really bothers me sometimes as a psychologist, I watch people say this all the time: reach out. If you need me, reach out, reach out. I'm here. Listen, if you could reach out, you would. The issue is when I don't have an emotional language, if I were just to say, I'm feeling down, something's off, I'll be fine. It's fine. It's cool. It's fine. No, I'm good. It's good. If I can say I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling like I'm failing my babies, I feel disappointed, I feel like I should be happy and I'm not. I got a great partner and I have a kid and there's so many people who don't even have what I have, but I think people would be better off without me. When you can say that, then people can step up for you. When you do not have an emotional language, listen, highest rate of suicide right now are middle-aged men because they do not have a language to be able to name it, to tame it. So how do we do that? We start to notice. We start to say, tell me more. We start to say, what am I missing? And I think it's that place of creating community, which you've had in this beautiful Get Your Teach On community, to be able to say to educators, let's normalize the fact that you have just for the last 8 months, 6 months, carried the weight of the world on your shoulders. Mm-hmm. You should be tired. It's okay if you want to go to sleep at 7 o'clock at night. Look at me when I say, if you only knew how many babies are thinking about you tonight. Not because of your literacy or numeracy or whether your friggin' lesson plan matches your curriculum, but that they saw you, that you said, turn your camera on so I can see your pet goldfish and then you can turn it off my muffin top, right? I do not remember anything that a single K-12 educator taught me. Not one thing. I cannot pull out what a Bunsen burner does. I do not know the chemical formula, anything on that chart of the things. I do not know anything. I got a PhD and I do not know anything about the curricula. But I can tell you the first and last name of every school teacher I had, K-12. My bus driver's name was Stan Comic. He was a crotchety old son of a bitch, and I went to his funeral because I saw him first in the morning and at night from grade 3 to grade 12. It is about relationships, sweet muffins, and you as educators, this is what you're good at. This is what you're good at. When you're filled up and you remember your why, you're good at. You don't get into teaching because you want to teach about the atoms in the thing. You get into it because either somebody made you feel phenomenal and you wanted to do more of that, or somebody missed you and you weren't going to let that happen.
Wow.
That's why we do this work.
Man, I'm like, I forgot there was an audience listening. I feel like I'm getting closer and closer. I can actually
see
I
was too. I was like,
Jody on my screen, and I've been like getting closer and closer and closer. But you know, something that you said was so powerful to me, and I haven't shared a lot about this here on the podcast, or really anywhere for that matter, because it is still so fresh and new. But the name it to tame it. You know, I speak on mental health, and I talk about my anxiety in front of audiences of thousands of people, and I'm not ashamed to say I struggle with anxiety. But for me during this season, something that I just kept telling Wade and telling so many people, I was like, I don't know, this is not anxiety. I couldn't name anything. I couldn't name what I was feeling. I had never felt that emotion before. And that was the scariest thing ever for me, because I'm like, hold on, I know anxiety comes in different forms, but I know what my anxiety looks like, okay? And I know how it presents itself. And during this season, especially during COVID, I was struggling so much. Couldn't get out of bed. Couldn't put one foot in front of the other, didn't want to shower, didn't want to brush my teeth. I mean, that might be nasty, but that's where, just regular life functioning skills I no longer had. I felt like my whole life had just been like stripped. Like, who am I? Who am I right now? And
Wade, what was that like for you?
Please.
Sorry, this is my show.
Yeah,
Wade,
do it. Take it, girl.
Because I think here's the issue, and I just want to know a little bit about what was that like to watch this powerhouse woman shrink. Tell me what that was like for you.
Yeah, it was really hard. I was trying to figure out what I could do to help, because I know that she's always struggled with anxiety. We don't shy away from acknowledging that we do see a counselor. We get counsel, therapy. And so I was going through some things kind of at the beginning of this. And then it kind of tapered off a little bit, and then it kind of picked up with hope a little bit more, but it just kept getting worse and worse. And I just didn't know how to help. And it was when I think you really started to dive in, you would have those weekly counseling sessions that naming things was super important. For me, I don't think it's kind of released from me yet. I don't think I've experienced everything that's happened to Hope during this season. And I think that's very important for our audience to hear too. I mean, trauma affects everybody. It just doesn't affect the person that's experiencing it. It affects your whole household. And you have to be aware of that, and you have to be able to talk to each other. I'm one of those people who, like, if Hope knew what was wrong with her, she would tell you what's wrong. That's Hope. That's Hope King. For me, I'm fine. I'm good. And it's exactly what you said earlier. That's what resonated with me when you said the middle-aged man suicide rate is, I mean, I'm middle-aged, and it's one of those reasons is because one of the many reasons why I get in those excuse me, getting all flustered here. I'm having a counseling session on the couch.
That's right. It's a counseling podcast, folks. Sorry, you're tuning in to our one-on-one.
I mean, your story is resonating so many, so keep going, because I really love where you're going to go with this.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things to where if I were to know what was bothering me, I still wouldn't say it. I would say I'm fine. During this season, Hope is pretty much, because she's figured out how much naming it to tame it has helped her. Oh, yeah. And she will force me to say, what's wrong? No, really, what's wrong? And I still won't say. Yeah. I mean, most of the time. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I'll say, I'm just mad. I'm just angry. And I'll go out. I'll do my thing. I just need to be alone. I need to, whatever it is. So it's, I think you have to have someone in your life that doesn't really understand how you feel, but they can acknowledge how you feel and try to help you in the best ways that they can.